We're going to present our final speaker, Mr. Muhammad Nawab Rahman. I'm very delighted. Mr. Muhammad Nawab Rahman obtained Bachelor of Pharmacy and Masters in Microbiology from University of Dhaka. He went on to complete post-graduation training in pharmaceutical technology from Toronto Institute of Pharmaceutical Technology, Canada, TIPT. Mr. Nawab Rahman has also gained related to leadership, technical and business director, technical operations of Square Pharmaceuticals Limited, Dhaka unit, which is recognized as one of the state-of-the-art pharmaceutical manufacturers for producing generic local drugs for local international. Mr. Nawab, we will give you a reminder at the 10-minute mark. So please go ahead and present. Thank you.
Yeah. So probably being the last speaker, probably I may get a little bit extra time, right? But thank you, Shabnam. It was really pleasure, listening a number of people, right? It's the globally renowned people, right? Dr. Aftab, Pamina, Nuri Hassan, Abir Hassan, and Nagesh, right? They're really great speaker, right? Right. Yeah, we really have spoken a lot about the North American chapter. Right now, we really need to think about that. What is the takeaway for Bangladesh? And we really need to think like work locally, but think globally. Right. So I'm going to cover today. I hope you can hear me, right? Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. So today's discussion point that I'm going to cover, right, is very important because my topic is probably, I have got to go to the topic, the Bangladesh pharma industry and the career opportunities for microbiologists. Right. So today's discussion point, I'm going to cover the brief on the Bangladesh pharma industry. I know the time is very minimum. The major global regulatory approvals that we have in Bangladesh, competitive advantage of BD pharma industry, driving force of BD pharma industry, career scope of microbiologists, importance of microbiologists in pharma industry, challenges of the pharma industries in Bangladesh, and that really drives that microbiologists to pop in. And the missing links of microbiology education, so some career surveys and recommendation for readiness for microbiology. So this is what I'm going to cover. So definitely there is a kind of a little bit different what we have spoken so far about that North America and Canada. Right, brief about the Bangladesh pharma industry. Right, you really need to know. Right, if microbiologists need to really embark upon the career in pharma, right, it's very important that we really need to know that how many pharma industries are operating in our country. It's a total 267 companies, but the top 50 companies occupy 99% market share, and the remaining 171 is 1% market share. It's a branded generic market, right? So Bangladesh being one of the LDCs, probably you need to know that is been exempted like by the TRIPS. It's a trade-related intellectual property right. So what are the medicines currently being manufactured in the US and the Europe, right? So we can manufacture right away because of the TRIPS exemption, right? So 97% of the country's requirement is fulfilled by the local companies. And the 3%, less than 3% that currently we import from outside, which is mostly kind of vaccine, anti-cancer, and hormonal products. But companies have also started making those products too. So currently we are exporting to 127 countries, including the regulated market, right? So if I talk about the Bangladesh pharma market size, it's a $2.7 million market, billion dollar, right? So we really need to understand as far as that microbiology profession or other profession is concerned, right? Even if due to the COVID situation, the pharma is still is in a good shape that we really did not really, trench the people, right? So we are still really in top of the pharma growth, right? Still we are maintaining, there is little bit recession, but the pharma people are in the better shape because after food and medicine, after food and water, the medicine is a requirement. So being pharma industry is the medicine manufacturer, right? So this is one of the career entry for many of the professionals, right? So if you if I talk about, because this is what you need to know, all of you need to know that what are the regulatory approvals that we, Bangladeshi pharma, the top pharma industries are having, like the MHR approval, like the EU approval, like the Australian approval, US FDA, and the WHO. There are also other regulatory like the SAPRA, which is MCC, so South Africa, which is also a regulated market. Right. So what is the competitive advantage of Bangladesh in global market, that since we have a global accreditation to produce the high quality product? So you probably know that we have started manufacturing the product for the US market and the European market quite for a long time, right? So we have also very good technology updates, right? LDC, and I already have told you that being one of the LDCs that we really are exempted, for many things, right? We manufacture the products that we can export, and human resource, and this language is an English speaking country right nowadays for professional, right? And the driving force for the industry, there are, microbiologists with other professionals. They really need to compete with all other people here, pharmacists, engineers, chemists, biochemists, doctors, right? And if you talk about what are the career opportunities that we have for the microbiologists, there is a core profession that the microbiology themselves, right? And the manufacturing, right? Quality, and then compliance, and R&D, and the validation, right? So what I can see, being one of the industry leaders in the country, right, that leaders have got to really, show the pathway, right? So when I really work for the industry, because I have been working for the industry for the last 26 years, right? So there are something that the leader have got to play a vital role in order to enter the microbiologists into the, right? When I really, made a pivotal role, right, to bring the microbiologists from the QC to the manufacturing, then I had to take personally, right, that this is the real, that yes, microbiology can also fit into this manufacturing or for the sterile manufacturing, but someone has got to take the lead, right, to show the roadmap, right? And the validation, that is also one of the area that really I also played a pivotal role, right? The validation really is a department that are being initiated with the microbiologists, right? And that validation really was extended to many other areas with the microbiologists, and it's a multidisciplinary approach, but the microbiologists are leading in many of the companies. And pharmaceutical microbiology area is becoming more and more. The reason being, the regulatory authorities are becoming stringent, and since we are also filing this sterile products into the regulated market, right? This is very important that the microbiologist plays a very vital role, right? If you talk about the major microbiology observations that's really coming from the regulatory agency, that you can see at a glance that there are so many microbiology observations that comes from the FDA, right? It could be the media fill failure, it could be a history test positive investigation, poor aseptic behavior, mechanical failure, limitation of the barrier, right, access barrier system, a lot of things, right? If you talk about the warning letters, that really cause a lot of suspension, particularly for the Indian manufacturers, practically globally. But some of the examples that I have given, including the Apotex, right, Canada, right? I also work for Apotex Canada, right? If you see that certain observations, right, where in fact the microbiological control, that it really lacks that microbiological control. So I would not go through, but this is one of the areas that challenge for the pharmaceutical really drives the new profession to, come in the microbiology as a microbiologist, right? So these are the areas where these are truly a challenge for the pharmaceutical, and that challenges are really giving the opportunity for the microbiologists to pop in to really get higher. If you talk about the challenges, other challenges for the pharma industry, so this is similar challenges, right? So it's very important that the skill development of the microbiologists, right? This is one of the areas that we really need to really talk about. The other challenges, and you see that in Bangladesh, unlike the US, right, in Bangladesh, there are many positions, practically they are not driven by the microbiologists, but they're not like the pharmacist or the chemist. These are not the substitute of the microbiologist position, right? The microbiologists are the microbiologists, right? They have a certain set of skills. They really deserve certain positions, but it also depends on the leaders in the industry. So people who are really leading the positions, that really drives that what are the positions they are really going to hire for which areas. So it looks that the competent microbiologists are one of the key success factors for sustainable growth of the pharmaceutical industry, because the next area is the sterile products, right? The sterile products are, it has got to be manufactured. It has got to be completely controlled. And if you talk about the environmental control, this is the microbiologists. They have got the right knowledge that they can really play a vital role. So industry, as an industry practitioner, I find that in most of the cases, the microbiology graduates are not ready to face the industry requirements. Industry can reap the benefits of these new graduates only after 1 to 2 years of the extensive training on the job. So it's the industry that takes the pain, right? Because, what the problem about the US, right? The chapter in the US and the chapter in Bangladesh is totally different. You talk about the soft skills, but we talk about more on the hard skills. Definitely the soft skills is always, but it's the industry that they take the responsibility to develop both here. So if you talk about what is the disparity, the missing link, education curriculum, that is where we really need to bridge disparity between the academic and the industry perspective on basic knowledge, inadequacy of the current syllabus to meet the industry need. I'm definitely, there is also microbiology. I have got the due respect for the academic institution, but we really got to do something that we have got to have some specialization, if particularly for the as far as the pharmaceutical career is concerned. Limited scope of the specialization in the current BSc and the MSc curriculum, missing orientation about the role of microbiologists in the industry, right? If you talk about what are the missing link in the education, so these are the things that the industry require, the CGMP knowledge, the clean room standards, right? If you talk about if you speak about the microbiologists, right? If you ask them during an interview that what are the clean room standards, probably 90% of the people, 90% of the students will not be able to address, right? Because that's the current course curriculum, right? It doesn't really talk about that area, but I'm sure that if both the industry and the academia and the researchers, they work, right? There are also some other areas that I would not go into detail, but if you would like to go for the presentation, certainly I can share, right? There are also missing links, the pharmaceutical environmental control, data integrity issue, good microbiology laboratory practice, media field simulation. This is very important for the pharmaceutical manufacturing. The water system, they need to know about the water system. Some HVAC for the validation activities, the microbiologist should be completely aware of this kind of water system is very, very vital for the pharma organization, right? So I have really done a personal kind of survey, right? It's a survey one that when microbiology student in Bangladesh, they are really entering into the university, what is the frame of mind? So they really talk about, they think about that. I have done this survey on kind of 25 microbiologists who started career in the pharma industry. You can see that the researchers 62%, industry they would like to go for 14%, faculty member 5%, government organization 19%, right? The next slide is interesting, right? But when they enter into the microbiology department, right? So you see that they would like to become the researcher, 72%, industry is the 28%. Now, the recommendation for the readiness, that how can we really make that career smooth for the microbiologists. So university and the pharma industry alliance for the development of the skill for the microbiology graduates is very important, that we really need to make them ready for the industry. Industry representative participation during the curriculum review is to keep the pace with the industry, and the bring industry expert to as guest speaker in different classes to provide the practical orientation to the students. Guest faculties can take some courses. It could be the regulatory courses. It could be some other development courses, but there are tremendous opportunities coming in Bangladesh, because Bangladesh is also coming with a lot of vaccine manufacturing facility with some kind of basic research. So that is going to open up some new areas. Seminars may be arranged with the industry experts where the student may be made compulsory. Career seminars may be arranged for the student to generate awareness of the expectations from industry, and the periodical industry visit. Specialized field, particularly I would request to the academia that specialized field of the applied industrial pharmaceutical microbiology, probably we go through a one course, right? It could be one credit course, but that is not adequate, right? To cover a lot of things for the pharmaceutical, so that pharmaceutical, they can be made ready. Microbiologists can be made ready for the pharmaceutical. So these are the applied industrial pharmaceutical microbiology course that can be launched at the master's level for a group of students who intend to pursue their career in the pharma industry. So with the blend of the experience, industry, researchers, and the academia together, we can take this profession to a new height for excellence. This is all about. Thank you very much.
And I hope that you enjoyed the session, and please,
Hello.
if you do, please join our ISBM Facebook group. And with that, I would like to end the session.